Well, this video is a departure from our usual BushCat videos. This is a friend of my nephew's bought a Weed Hopper Ultralight, and here they are. A little fast forward of the initial assembly, and they got it all put together on the lawn. And I told them, I said, let's go down and hop it in the air, and get it in the ground effect, and then just land it, see how it handles. So 2 pulls and it fired right up. I was literally amazed. So Paul jumps on it and taxi it down to the end of the runway here. And of course we've got our operative Andrew live streaming the whole event on Facebook, which in retrospect could have been a tragedy. However, you got to watch as we taxi it down to the end of the runway, and I didn't dare get in the thing because they'd had to call 911 to get me out of it. It was like a really small outfit, but cute little rig, many years old, but the engine fired right up. So first little hop, we get down the runway here, and he hops it in the air and realizes it's not answering the elevator as well as it should. So we chase him down the runway, and you can actually see he got it maybe a foot in the air, which was perfect. That's kind of what we were looking for, to see how it was going to handle. And so I pull up side of him, and he said it wasn't answering the elevator, so we decided to adjust the trim on the horizontal stabilizer. So he jumps out, and it's just a matter of pulling the pin, tipping the stabilizer down, and jumping back in. Fired it back up, and it's a real short field machine, so no need of taxiing back. He just jumped in it, and the plan was to hop it in the air. However, you have to watch what happens now. Takes a throttle and heads it down the runway. And the wind was quartering off to his right just a little bit. So you watch as he gets down there where it's flying. It goes over into the deep grass. So instead of chopping the throttle and letting it land, he decides he's going to climb over them trees in the distance. And you can see the aircraft itself never quite got altitude enough to clear that tree. So I'm assuming that we continued with back pressure on the elevator, which resulted in a stall spin incident. You'll watch right here in slow motion. You'll see the left wing tip down, and as the left wing tips down, stalls the airplane, and it snaps over to the left. And here it goes right here. It's wing stalling, and it snaps over. And of course, then the wingtip impacts the ground and twists it around. And here's a full speed video of the event, and you can see we're getting off to the left side of the runway there, and the grass is relatively deep where it's not mowed. So he yanks it in the air, and it's actually flying right there, and flies right down to where you either got to land or get over the trees. So instead of landing, we try to climb over the trees, and it snaps over and ends up impacting the ground. The pilot said afterwards he planned on going through the cut in the trees, but the wind just wouldn't let him do it. Didn't have control authority enough. So of course we respond immediately to the scene of the landing here, and he's out, and there was no fire and no injuries, but there were a couple of pipes bent, and luckily no one got hurt, and there was no fire. That was really important in any type of aircraft impact to the ground, that you don't have a fire. So we went and got the tractor and chained her up and started with the recovery, and of course chaining it didn't work so good, so we decided after that attempt failed, that Paul got on the bucket himself and just held on to the propeller, and really a light machine, so it was just a matter of low gear and idling the tractor along, and proceeded to recover the unit, and as you can see, it's really not badly damaged. I'm surprised it didn't bend the wings up more than it did. As we get it up here to the lawn, you can see we've got, of course, the propeller was damaged, and it broke the nose wheel off, and one of the longerons in the back that supports the tail is bent pretty good. You can see it. You can see it right there on the left side of the tail. That got bent, and one of the struts was bent, and that support in the center was bent. But other than that, the unit's really not damaged. I told them, rebuild it and bring her back. We'll try her again.